Hi, everyone. I'm John Lynn, the founder of HITMC. We're excited to bring you another in our series of interviews with top leaders in healthcare marketing. And today's guest is a HITMC Rising Star Award winner. He's Jasdeep Mann. He's Director of Marketing and Strategy at ReMedi Health Solutions. Welcome, Jasdeep.
Hey, John. So happy to be here.
Yeah, excited to talk about your award and to learn from your experience, with healthcare marketing. Before we dive in there, tell us a little bit about yourself and ReMedi Health Solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm a director of marketing and strategy at ReMedi. So we're a healthcare IT consulting firm. We're led by clinicians and really just try to focus on making the EHR the single source of truth for healthcare leaders and clinicians. So we are a growing firm in the peer-to-peer space. So we are led by physician informaticists, and focusing mainly on the EHR.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think one of the things that's interesting about the HITMC Rising Star Award is you may be long in your career, but just new to healthcare, that still works. And in your case, you worked in another industry prior to healthcare. What's it been like kind of moving from another industry and now getting into healthcare marketing?
Yeah, it's actually been a really fantastic transition for me. I have a background in research and development, and then I got involved with some startups as well
Okay.
prior to coming into healthcare. So I think actually, the industry is in need for problem solvers, for innovators.
Hmm.
There's a lot of opportunity for people to transition into healthcare. And then as a marketer, I think the other amazing thing about working within this space is that there is just this inherent need for empathy within the field. At the end of the day, everyone uses healthcare, whether it's their families or yourself. We all are a part of this system. And so to participate in here, it really is just a blessing to have a great mission of, improving the delivery of care, across the country. I think that it's just been a really rewarding process of learning the ins and outs of the industry, finding out how many passionate people there are in the industry, and getting to, really feel like you make a difference in the lives of both clinicians and patients.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's interesting when you think of, I love how you said, that people need solutions. And I think that's the beauty. And I would say in healthcare, one of the challenges is the solutions are there, but they aren't communicated broadly, right? And so, that's why I love HITMC is that we're taking solutions that exist that people just don't know about and
Hmm.
sharing that with the world. So I
Yep.
love that idea of sharing the solution, not just sharing, here's what we do.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk about is there a marketing project maybe that you're most proud of, doing, or that maybe, that you're really excited that you accomplished, something successful, and talk about what made it a success.
Yeah, absolutely. It actually kind of stems from when we originally met, kind of mid-pandemic.
Virtually.
Yep, it was a virtual
Virtual
meeting.
events do work sometimes.
They certainly worked in our case,
Yep.
because we've had a great relationship ever since. But the big project that I'm really really proud of that we've accomplished here is building what we call the EHR command center. So I'm sitting in our main conference room right here. But what we were doing as a response to the pandemic was really leveraging a lot of effective technologies. We were implementing, chatbots, AI, NLP powered tools. We were providing, 5G powered solutions to connect with clinicians, throughout the pandemic. And ultimately, from a marketing standpoint, all of that work, all of that investment, certainly was recognized by, the media, and also our clients as well. They saw the value in what we were creating. So, we were featured on the Barbara Corcoran podcast, with AT&T because of our us leveraging the 5G networks of AT&T.
Nice.
We got featured by the Houston Chronicle, which a lot of us are born and raised in Houston, so it's always amazing to be in your hometown newspaper. And then from there, as the word spread, we were able to speak to more potential clients about the solutions that we have, about the tools that we use to leverage efficiency within the EHR, ways to improve data integrity and quality. We were really able to communicate those things through this sort of centralized effort, this common area. Everyone else was kind of going back into the digital space, and we kind of felt this need that our customers and clients weren't going home from the hospitals, and so we really pulled together and pulled off this epic victory of building a command center, right in the middle of the pandemic. So certainly there's so many great wins, a lot of camaraderie built among the team, created a lot of growth in the business as well. So we've been able to deliver a lot of value to the market just through this whole command center.
Yeah, I love that you described it as an epic victory. I don't know if that was an intended pun for an epic go live, but I love it regardless. So, what's interesting is that, you've really done this as a solo marketing team, and unless your team's grown since you last talked, maybe, it's possible, but, talk about that and what's the key to being successful as kind of a solo or at least small marketing team?
Sure. Yeah. As I was kind of thinking about what it's been like, going from a smaller team to a rapidly growing team, it's very much, I think, the analogy of like a football team. I might be the marketing quarterback. I might be the only person who has the position marketing director, but certainly I have to have a strong front line. I have to have wide receivers. I have to have, a great running back. So I leverage our physician informaticists, our leadership team quite a bit. I mean, our marketing meetings are not just a couple people. There's several people involved, and so I would say, even though I'm quarterbacking a lot of the work, we're leveraging developers, creatives, writers. We definitely have a village here in order to do all the work that we're doing, and so I would say from a this on the smaller side of marketing teams, certainly there is a lot of reflection that's required for the team to be super efficient. I think that prioritizing tasks, really understanding what is the problem that we're trying to solve through our marketing work. What are the problems that we're solving for our customers? What are their needs, and how do we develop strategies that meet those needs and help them understand what we're trying to communicate to them. Those are all the types of things that happen through group effort and group think. I certainly am the quarterback, but I've thrown a lot of Hail Marys, to the team, and we've recovered fumbles, and it's just been a true team effort. Although it may appear from the outside that I'm not this gigantic marketing team, we certainly have a lot of people involved with an incredible amount of experience that we utilize in order to go to market.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think it's always a challenge to balance, right? The agility of a small team. All the large companies say, I wish I was smaller and could be more agile. And all the small teams say, I wish I had the more of the resources of the large one. So, it's
Right.
kind of pick your poison, in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. And at the end of the day, if you have the support of the CEO, that is probably more powerful than anything.
Yeah. Yeah. You certainly do have to be creative. You certainly have to be, and with my background in the startup world, you do have to sort of work on a bootstrap budget in many cases and just make your budgets really work for you. So I would say that as we've grown, we've certainly increased our ability to execute on campaigns and things like that. But having that focus and that sort of I'm thinking of the right word here.
The
Something along the
constraint, right?
Yeah, like constraining yourself, right? I think that like pressure makes diamonds. And so if you know that you have this big, huge goal, and you kind of force yourself to create to knock that goal out, it's not like you're just going to receive a paycheck at the beginning of your project and then you get to do everything. So you kind of figure out how to make the most with what you got. But certainly as things start to click, like I said, then you get to expand, then you get to scale your work. So doing things that are, non-scalable certainly works, and then once you figure out something that works, then you push that out even further to the market.
Yeah. Constraint forces creativity. And I think it's interesting to think about how do you do that as you scale, right? To still have that creative mindset, because resources can often create laziness, right?
Yeah, I think
We've
like
seen that.
having this always coming back to the drawing board as a team, being authentic and real about what's working, what's not working. and leveraging data and tools and things like that to really have a honest opinion as to like what is going to be effective. I think those are the types of things that allow the team to be transparent with one another. And once you have trust between the team, then, there's no stopping you. Like, I think like what you mentioned about having leadership, really buying in on the idea that marketing is, should be pushed forward and not halted or anything like that, within good reason. I think that certainly is that synergy amongst teams that is very valuable.
Yeah. And you're not just the one to put together the marketing deck or something. I've seen that
100%.
as well.
100%.
So how do you stay up to date on marketing and maybe what marketing techniques, tactics, strategies, tools, et cetera? Is there anything you're kind of keeping an eye on too, and trends in the industry? How do you stay up to date and what do you see happening?
Yeah, definitely. So, I think the first thing is to remember that you have to take care of yourself. It's sort of this inside out methodology. So I like to read a lot, just more so about philosophy and way of life and things like that. So I take a lot of inspiration from Thich Nhat Hanh. And what he teaches is that communication begins within. So if you can't communicate with yourself first, how are you possibly going to communicate with someone external, be it a customer, your team, or something like that? So I think, starting with self-reflection, and self-improvement, those types of things, those are the things that will actually allow you to get to learning about what's new, having the motivation to struggle your way through some new tool or some new software, or something like that, right? Beyond that, once you've sort of committed to self-improvement, committed to, this self-reflection process, then I think curating your world with solid mentors, solid, resources that you can rely on is incredibly important. So instead of, I certainly do follow meme accounts and fun accounts like that, but
Sure.
I also do curate a lot of very, important thought leaders within the industry. So I'm constantly monitoring, what's going on through social media and curating my feeds so that they are informing me, so that when I do go to social media, I am actually gaining value through the things that I'm following and learning certain techniques and things like that. So that's mainly it. It's an inside out approach. So begin within, and then also curate your world to be productive is a
Wow.
very important thing for me.
Incredible way to describe it. I love it. So as we wrap up here, what's your best piece of marketing advice you've gotten in your career?
It's a tough question for me, at least, because, there's so many of these ideas that have made an impact.
Okay.
One thing that I can, maybe it's two things, right? The first thing is, authenticity is essential, which you should never be afraid to be yourself. I think just from a professional perspective, you should never hide who you are. You should never, be afraid to be yourself, and that will set you up for success. But then in the marketing realm, I think the thing that impacted me the most was this concept of, and it comes and it goes, and people hate it and people love it, but it's content is king, right? And I know that it's been used a lot, but since that was kind of proliferated while I was beginning my early stages of my career, what that made me realize was I need to really focus on my customer and understand what is it that I'm trying to convey to them, and how do I speak to them? What do they need from me in order for me to do a good job as a marketer? So when you focus on content as the key to your marketing effort, I think what that really does is it makes you understand the full landscape. So I definitely took content very seriously, and it forced me to really understand the needs of the customers that I was working with, and in that I was able to create value. So that's been a very, very impactful truth to my marketing career, is this focus on content.
Awesome. Content is king. It's amazing what good content can do. But I would say that was the thing that stood out for me in your nomination for the HITMC Rising Star Award was the rock content that you created and then leveraged effectively in your marketing efforts, that you used your limited resources to really use those rock content pieces to drive your organization to success and achieve the outcomes you did. So, congratulations on the HITMC Rising Star Award. You're a worthy winner, and I appreciate you being part of the HITMC community and sharing your insights and perspectives. And thanks everyone for watching and listening. If you want to find more great healthcare marketing content like this, be sure to check it out at HITMC or search for healthitmarketingconference.com to find the latest details on next year's conference. Thanks, Jasdeep.
Thanks so much, John. I'm so happy to be a part of the community and, look forward to our continued growth as healthcare marketers.